And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode 16 of The Modern Man. We are shooting in Eastside Boxing Gym today, a very beautiful gym. And as you can see, I have a giant of a man next to me. Not just in stature, but in personality too. So I wrote you a bit of an intro, bro.
Thank you.
Okay. The Modern Man is super excited to welcome an icon in the bodybuilding community, placing first multiple times in many IFBB competitions, receiving his pro card at 27 and becoming the youngest and first ever black bodybuilder to receive this honor in the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, Sibusiso, the Kid Prodigy Kotelo. Welcome, bro.
Thank you so much, bro.
I feel like I butchered that a little bit.
No way. That is cool. That is cool. That is really cool.
Oh, bro. So let's start from the beginning, bro. I was reading an article that you used to be a rugby guy in UCT.
Yeah,
You weren't always. Well, you were. You just had the genes, or what?
No,
was that,
I was actually the smallest guy in my rugby team.
Find that hard to believe.
Yeah,
What position were you playing?
So I started wing, I was a wing, grade 8, grade 9. I stopped in grade 10 because I was actually in my high school for academics. So when I got pulled out, when I dropped out of the top 3 in the grade, my mom was like, no more rugby. So that sucked. And then I went back.
You didn't even have a choice in that.
No. Not with the black mom, bro.
No. She was like, get your ass back in.
Yeah, so as soon as my academics went back up, I went back into rugby, I think late grade 10. But at that time, I'd also grown taller, so everyone assumed I got bigger.
Okay.
So I then played lock. So imagine from wing to lock. It was the most bizarre thing ever.
And that's a cuck position.
No, right? Yeah, so I did that. And then, I played first team and then left. And then I took a gap year, played for UKZN.
Okay.
And also the Sharks Academy. And then...
And were you still playing lock at that time? Or?
And then I moved to 8th man.
8th man. Okay, see, I would put you as an 8th man, but that makes sense.
Because I had a bit of height, a bit of, body, and then I had the speed for backline.
Yeah.
So I played 8th man, and then I went to UCT, and then I played there as well, bro.
So were you just playing, but what were you studying when you were there, bro?
Engineering, bro.
Yeah, you were saying that you have a degree?
Yeah, I finished the whole 9 yards.
What kind of engineering? Just basic?
Construction.
Construction
engineering, yeah.
Fuck. Okay, so not just a pretty face.
Yes. Bit of brain cells, 1 or 2.
Oh, bro. Yeah. And obviously now you stand this man built like a brick shit house, bro. Like
construction.
Physical construction. How did that become a part of your life, bro?
It was... So in my first year out of high school, while I was playing for UKZN and the Sharks development team, I just randomly decided to do retail, bro. So I was working at Akajo.
At Akajo?
I promise you.
Akajo, what a throwback.
Yeah.
Sure. Are those shops still around?
I don't know. I haven't seen it at Gateway, to be honest, but I still know they sell Akajo clothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that, and so obviously at Gateway they have Virgin Active, and bored the one break, I just decided to go train during my lunch break, and then I met a guy by Andrew Hudson, who was also an IFBB pro. And so I'm busy doing a bench press, and I could feel this tower of a shadow of a human behind me. Bro. So in my mind, I'm like, it's probably one of those guys that are going to ask you how many sets you have left. Yeah. So now I unrack the bar, and this guy goes, "Bud, have you ever considered bodybuilding?" So I look at this guy, I'm like, what is that? Because I really had no idea. I mean, I come from a traditional high school where it was rugby, soccer, cricket, swimming. That was it. All the other sports were there, golf, whatever the case is, but no one really cared about the sports. Exactly. So needless to say, I had no idea what bodybuilding was. And he's like, dude, I really think you got the right genetics for bodybuilding. Again, I didn't know what that meant. So he's like, no, you should Google Arnold. And I'm like, yeah, I know Arnold, the Terminator. Yeah. Because that's all I knew about him. You know what I mean?
So you didn't know Arnold back in the day?
No, I didn't, bro. I'd be lying to you. Like, I always tell a lot of people, I would honestly be lying to you if I said I was one of those kids that grew up wanting to have muscles. It was not a thing. Okay. You know what I mean? That was my coach. My coach knew about the Ronnie Colemans of this world. Yeah. He had posters of these guys in his wall growing up. For me at 14, 15, all I cared about was getting my straight A's. That's it. Playing the occasional rugby game there, but
This is the best kid that a parent would want.
That's all. For me, it was, how I can impress my mom, So anyway, I Googled Arnold bodybuilding. Yeah. And then I bumped into this guy like a week later, and I promise you that's what I said to him. I looked at him, I'm like, bud, there is no way I'm standing on stage in a Speedo. And the only thing he said to me, to correct me, is like, hey, bro, it's not called a Speedo, it's called a posing trunk. And he walked away. That was one of the only conversations we had. Anyway, fast forward about 2 or 3 weeks later, I bumped into a guy who was my senior in high school wearing a bodybuilding t-shirt. So I'm like, hey, bro, I actually spoke to someone that said something about this. And I'm like, Andrew Hudson. And he said, I got great genetics. He fanboyed Andrew Hudson. Bro, Andrew said you could do bodybuilding. Bro, like, you should really consider it. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. So anyway, Bongani kind of navigated me throughout the whole thing. And I did my first show. So I met Andrew at the gym around October 2013. And I did my first show in 2014 in April.
Shit, so that's quite a quick transition.
It was a quick transition. Because for me, I'm also the kind of guy where I'm like, let me just get it done as quickly as possible. Right? See if it's something I'd be interested in.
Don't spend too much time.
And then guess who was the guest post of that show? Andrew Hudson. So I see this guy, I'm like, hey, yes, I'm doing the show. You know what I mean?
I listened to you, bro.
You know what I mean? So anyway, I won my first show. I got invited to do provincials. I won provincials, got invited to do essays. And then, bro, I've never looked back since then.
Just started climbing, bro.
Literally never looked back since then, bro.
And what kind of, like, weight did you start at, bro?
So
obviously you've never been like this.
Apparently I was the third biggest junior ever in South Africa.
Shit, yeah.
So I was on stage at 102 kilos.
Yeah.
Which was kind of like not heard of for a guy under the age of 23 to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because that's normally heavyweight.
It's a super heavyweight, actually. So I started 102 kilos on stage, and then, bro,
and what do you weigh now, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, as we sit here, I'm 138.
138?
Yeah.
Fuck me. Oh, bro, but I was reading there, in the same article, bro, that your parents are also, athletes.
Yeah.
So it runs in the genes.
Yeah, my dad was a pro boxer, actually.
Okay,
And, I'm still not a fan of the sport. But, my dad was a pro boxer.
Yeah.
My mom played javelin and shot put.
Yeah.
And, so I come from a very athletic background.
Yeah.
You know, so it was not too far off when I told my mom, hey, listen, I kind of don't want to do this engineering thing. I just want to pursue the sporting side of things. So my mom she wasn't totally against it. Yeah.
So do you have a good relationship with your mom, bro? You
Absolutely.
seem very close.
Absolutely, yeah. She's my queen, man. She's my whole heart.
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely, bro. I should call my mom after, even though we live in the same house.
Yeah.
So you were telling me earlier that you found a good way to... A lot of people don't want to get into bodybuilding because it's the age-old thing of there's no money in it. Bro.
True.
You put out a lot of money into diet, training, coaches, recovery.
Yeah.
But as I said, my father used to do it, but he said there was no money in it, so he left, you know. But obviously this was back in the day. I don't think you could brand yourself unless you were Arnold or something.
Yeah, 100%.
So how did you monetize yourself in this whole situation?
Look, it's hard, bro. It's hard. Look, when I got to Joburg, my famous story is that I had 152 rand in my bank account and a full tank of petrol.
This is like The Rock, listening to The Rock right now, bro.
I slept in my car for 3 months.
Shit, okay.
Easily. Because for me, I didn't have a choice. I just wanted to make this thing work.
Yeah.
Because I knew no one in Joburg. I had no family, nothing. I just came up here because my coach was here. For me, this whole idea of online coaching didn't work for me personally. I just needed my coach to be next to me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kind of built my personal training business to support my bodybuilding career.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So the reality is, it's a niche sport. You know,
Sure.
It is a small sport. And because it's not as commercial as a rugby and a soccer that can be monetized in terms of being on screen and TV, the reality is there is no money.
Yeah.
So one of the best things to do is monetize yourself, if that makes sense. As a brand.
Yeah, create a brand for
right.
yourself.
So you are the business,
Okay.
right? So you want to be associated with brands that are aligned with what you're trying to do and your vision. You know, obviously my collaboration with D-Range.
Yes.
You know, I'm signing.
It's a very cool shirt, bro.
Thanks, brother. So it was a partnership between myself and them. And bro, you also get, supplement deals. And then from there you can branch off. The beautiful thing about social media is that now you can branch off and get other brands to support you. I'm in partnership with McDonald's, right? Which is kind of like bizarre for a lot of people.
Like how did this
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Oh, I can, bro, 100%.
Please,
so I'm in
bro.
partnership with McDonald's.
That's intriguing, bro.
Yeah. So the biggest misnomer and stereotype that a lot of people have had with a brand like McDonald's is the whole thing of having a connotation of being fat and an ant.
Yeah.
But the reality is, when you look at the body and how the human body works, it's calories in, calories out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of things, and not just the McDonald's brand with anything in life. If you abuse it, it will count against you.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
So a lot of people end up on the abusive side of fast food in general, and then have the bad perception of
that
it's
fast food
bad
made
for
me
you.
fat. Yeah,
No, bro.
yeah.
So it's just about that. So the partnership was also to kind of dispel that notion of, you know, the stereotype that people have with that, because when you look at the calories, how the food is made. So I also don't partner with brands that I don't believe in.
I was about to say,
Because
that's very
I'll
interesting.
never line my pockets with silver just because you're lining my pockets.
Okay.
I got to believe in it. So I went through the process
Stick
of
with the moral
understanding
compass,
100%,
yeah,
understanding the food technology, the whole foods they use,
Yeah.
what it entails, you know. So when you look at the calories in which certain their foods come with, it made sense for me. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the partnership I have.
Also,
with
that's
them.
very like change. That's like, how do I say, life changing? Not life changing. As you say, perception changing.
Yeah.
That's nothing that people ever hear of, is seeing like a guy that looks like you at McDonald's, like living his best life.
All right.
Because you get, as you say, it's possible.
Bro, I literally have 1 or 2 meals every second to third day from McDonald's.
Yeah.
And my body fat percentage right now is 5.6 as we're sitting right now. You know what I mean?
Shit, yeah.
So it's just, so it's been a beautiful partnership with them. So but it's just about aligning yourself with brands that you believe in, and obviously commercializing yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So you can partner with a car brand, you can partner with, you know, and branding yourself in terms of not just doing your bodybuilding, because a lot of people also get fixated in that old school notion of guys can just do bodybuilding, which worked back in the day, and I'm not taking away from it.
Yeah.
But also those guys did get paid so much more money to do just that.
Yes.
So now we're in a generation now where you can be in a movie set, which I've done before. I've done 2 movies, I've done a commercial.
What
there.
movies have you done, bro?
I've been on Asina Mali.
Okay.
And then recently I shot Blood Psalms with Jamil, which is on Showmax, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get yourself into certain things that
as you
can
say,
monetize.
branch out kind of
branch
thing,
out, bro. Because once you start understanding yourself as a brand, not just I'm a bodybuilder, it becomes a different ballgame. Because I always tell a lot of people as well, I'm an athlete that decided to do bodybuilding.
Okay.
Because at any given point in time, I can do any other sport.
Yes, if you wanted to.
Because I'm athletic. I pride myself
sure.
in being an athlete first.
Yeah.
That decided to do bodybuilding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now with like your muscle mass and everything, bro,
Yeah.
what is your mobility like, bro? 'Cause a lot of that's also a misconception I think a lot of people, because I follow like Joey Swole, Brad Castleberry.
Yeah.
I'm seeing those oaks doing fucking backflips all day.
Absolutely.
And they've really built like big shit houses, bro.
So the person that has helped me out quite a lot, actually spoke about it off air, is my strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
Right. So as I said, when I get there, I'm an athlete first because I'm also exposed to other athletes. So for example, that gym has Cassie Hall, the best female golfer in the country.
Isn't she from around this area?
I think so. I think
she
she's
is.
not
I
a
follow
Benoni
her-
girl.
Yeah. She's Benoni girl. Yeah.
Kevin Levrina, we
Yes.
get, you know, who's the guy that just won the junior, was a junior boxer? I forget his name. He's one of the coaches there. I just did a boxing match about 2 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you get a lot of guys that
Did you
come
win?
from. Eh?
Did you win?
No, he won.
Oh, he won.
No,
I thought
I'm
you
not a
said-
boxer.
I
No. No, he's a boxer. No.
Shame, I'm
I don't.
sorry
I
for
don't.
that
I don't
guy,
do
bro.
boxing for anything, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get a lot of guys that come in that space, and we all athletes.
Yeah.
Just doing different sporting codes. So when it comes to my mobility and stuff, I pride myself in the fact that I'm probably more mobile than most guys at the gym, because also with the ideology and understanding how the human body works.
Yes.
So the more mobility I have, the more muscle mass I can put on.
So education is very important in your life.
Absolutely, bro.
Because people are, as you said, like very
Absolutely.
misconceived on how these
If you're
kind of things-
passionate about something and you're not
Yeah.
educating yourself in it, you're not as passionate as you think you are.
Okay.
This is what I believe.
I hope you people are listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you look like you could run 110, bro. Like
I used to.
Really?
Right now, I probably wouldn't be able to because I'm carrying a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah,
But I mean, as I said, I was a sprinter. I think I still hold the under 13 sprinting record in KZN. I
shit.
stand corrected. I think no one has
And
broken
what
it
did
yet.
you run it in, bro?
I think I did it in 10 seconds, 1 second. Yeah, 10.9. Yeah, that was me at 13, just running around.
Just running at
Yeah.
sugar high or something.
Yeah,
from the
literally.
McDonald's, bro.
Literally.
So now tell me, bro, you're 31.
Yeah,
You're a father of 2 boys.
yeah,
That alone is a job on its own, bro.
absolutely.
What do you tell me what that's like, bro? And they're young, as you were saying, bro. They're not.
Very young, bro. It's been a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
It changes how you see life. As cliche as it sounds, basically there's a lot of cliches that I used to hear from a lot of people, that as soon as you experience it
You like the
yourself, you sit there, you're going, I get it.
vibe. It makes sense.
And
yeah.
it grounds you as well. You start appreciating the small things. Like my 9 months old son, he's at the point now where standing is a very important thing for him. He doesn't want to be held.
Okay.
He wants to stand because in his mind, he's at the point where he's starting to walk. Now, we all know he's going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But for me, there was this fascination when I saw him stand up and hold the coffee table and swift himself, and I'm sitting there going, yeah. That was like the highlight of my week, bro. So you start appreciating.
Did you celebrate it?
Of course I did, bro. I took him out for a cookie, so you start appreciating the small things. Because we take a lot of things for granted.
For sure.
The older we get, and also you start understanding that a lot of things in society we also learned.
Yeah.
Like the mere fact that my son can stand on this very table, I'll be on the floor and I'll be like, just jump towards me. He'll open his arms and just start diving in.
Yes, yeah.
So the concept of fear is sometimes things we learn, and even we instill in kids.
Yeah, for sure.
Where he'd bump his head and my brain, my natural instincts would be like, let me go get him. So now he sees my reaction to him and thinks, this is bad.
I should be scared,
Where sometimes he does something and I just sit there. I'm like, I'm just going to sit there. For him to learn that it's okay for him to bump his head a couple of times. It's okay for certain things to happen.
Because I feel like those, as you say, like, you let your kid do...
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a parent, guys. I'm not giving parent advice here.
Yeah.
But you're letting them experience the world for themselves. So make up their own mind and, like, wire their brain the way they want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro. And I think a lot of people these days... are babying kids way too much. It's really soft, bro. It's really soft,
I agree.
I mean, I hear some things that happen in schools and, I don't condone bullying. I'm not a bullying fan.
I know where you're going with this, and I'll tell you exactly what you want to say.
Okay.
I told my mom.
You can work it back.
No, I told my mom. I told my mom because we're actually having a brief discussion. And my mom goes, what would you do if your son was getting bullied at school and he comes home and he tells you that he punched the guy back? I'd take him out for a beer.
For sure.
My mom's like, but that's condoning violence. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach my son how to defend himself.
Yeah, and self-respect as well.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go around telling my son not to do something or protect himself and. Equally and equitably, if I hear that my son bullied someone unprovoked, I will punch him. And actually, the fact that I got him to earth, I'll take him out exactly the same.
there's a saying, I love that one.
Yeah.
But it's true though, because as you say,
because
if
I'm
he's not the
raised,
asshole,
absolutely,
then he has all the right to punch somebody
I
back.
am not raising a kid to walk away.
A little bitch.
I'm not.
No,
absolutely not.
I was reading a quote. I'm going to misquote it.
Yeah.
It said, if you allow disrespect to slide, it becomes an inner battle with yourself later.
Absolutely, bro.
People will then consistently disrespect you.
Absolutely.
And I always say this to people: if I've done something wrong to you, and you don't tell me the first time that I fucked up, and I do it again, you're not allowed to get mad.
It's on you.
Because if you didn't fucking tell me, how must I know?
100%.
Don't let the disrespect slide.
100%.
And I think that's a beautiful way
one of my favorite authors and philosophers once said, society tells you to be tamed, to be that calm guy that sits in the corner and just, and he goes, be a monster.
Yeah.
Be a monster.
This is Jordan Peterson.
Yes,
love him.
And then learn how to control it.
For sure.
And that's what I do.
For sure.
I'm a monster. I know how to shoot. I know how to fight. I know how to do all those things. Because I'm living in a world where if someone had to do those things to me,
you know what to do.
I know exactly what to do. So when people ask me, why do you carry a gun? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? Because I literally tell them, because when a criminal comes into my house, he doesn't care.
No, he doesn't give a fuck about you.
So why should I care?
Exactly. And also you're there to defend your family.
Absolutely.
Bro. So now you're going to say it was a better thing that you didn't shoot the guy back after he murdered your family?
Right.
It was the right thing
because
to do. It was a soft fucking thing to do.
Never.
I agree with you, bro. Like,
never.
It's the same saying, bro. It's the rather be a warrior in a garden than a
gardener
in a fucking
100%.
war. Because otherwise you're just going to let the world run all over you.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you have that mentality, bro. We need more guys like that, honestly speaking, because we are raising a society now that is soft. And I say that soft, with a big caveat, but it's just it's soft, bro.
It's going either way for me, bro, because the guys are getting softer and the women are getting harder.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that's because biologically we were wired a specific way.
Yeah.
Obviously things evolve, we evolve as people. But the primal thing, like as you said earlier, when I asked, why does every guy walk past a punching bag and fucking punch it? You said it's because it's primal.
It's primal, bro.
You just want to see it and punch it.
We're warriors. That's what we are. We always just want to be able to, at any given point in time, defend yourself.
For sure.
100%.
For sure.
Defend yourself and protect the ones around you.
Exactly. It's protect and survive.
100%.
Protect and survive. But now, as we were saying earlier, society's fucked now.
Yeah.
Things are going left. Well, the guys are going left to being real simping soft bitches. And the woman, because the guys are doing this way, the women are walking all over men these days.
Absolutely. Bro.
I mean, I see all the time on social media, guys and this and that. And actually, having Gabby on our podcast now, we get insight to what it's like to see the
From
guy
that
talking to a
side,
girl. And, you know, she shows us her DMs and stuff like that.
It's horrible, eh?
I thought to myself the other day, I've said some questionable things in my life. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not perfect. But I see the way these guys put not just women, other people on a pedestal, and they don't believe in themselves anymore. And they a bunch of little bitches.
Absolutely.
And it's so sad to see, bro. Like, that's not going to help us.
Absolutely.
Growing in this world,
Absolutely.
bro. No, fuck. That's actually a discussion I could go on with forever, bro. But let's leave it at that. Okay, so now, what is next for you, bro? I saw you were disqualified from a thing in
Brazil.
What the fuck was that, bro? When I was doing my research, I didn't expect that to pop up. So I'm very intrigued by that, bro.
Look, it was a communication barrier, bro. So what happens is, a lot of times, and look, between me and my coach, we've taken a lot of inventory, as we call it. You know, we sat back and we went back to the drawing board, realized what worked, what didn't work, what we could have done better.
Yeah.
But when you travel to a different country, you also kind of take a lot of things for granted.
Yeah.
And I say that because you also start appreciating South Africa for what it is.
For sure.
Even though there's certain things that we still complain about.
No, for sure. Our country's fucked, but it's
You
the
know what
most
I mean?
beautiful country.
100%. So
the
fact that right now you and I can sit here
Yeah.
and communicate in English and be okay, we take that for granted because we're going to take a plane now, go to Brazil and assume the same thing. Now, there's people in Brazil that don't speak English as a first language or a second language, and sometimes not at all.
But that's crazy. English isn't it the second most?
You'd think that, right? Which it is.
But
you
number one is what? Mandarin.
Mandarin, yes.
Mandarin is number one. English is second, yeah.
Right? So you think that. So you get to a country where getting an Uber feels like it's the biggest task that you have to do in your life. Because also remember, when you get into certain countries, your apps automatically change. Okay. So now automatically your Uber app is going to go into Spanish or whatever country that you're in, Portuguese, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to navigate an app that you used to seeing in English. So now you just have to work with muscle memory and go, if I press this goes like that, right? Yeah. So it became a very big communication barrier between myself and some of the promoters, where we weren't sure what time to rock up for prejudging. So when you do a pro show, or most shows for that matter, you get something called prejudging. And about 4 or 5 hours later, you get something called the finals. Now, prejudging is exactly what it is. They prejudge you to finalize the scoring for finals. So I missed prejudging. So because I didn't have a scoring for prejudging, it was then hard for me to do finals.
Fuck.
So
because you couldn't get an Uber. Well, basically.
100%. Literally. That's
Fuck.
because
and you traveled all the way there just for that to happen to you, bro.
Pretty much.
And I'm guessing you didn't get any of your money back after that.
Of course not, bro.
Yeah.
Money just gone, bro. So my coach and I call that school fees. Look, there's a lot more that happened.
Fees,
there's
You're
a lot more.
not going to do that again, bro.
Absolutely not. Look, there's a lot more that happened behind the scenes. It's just that my coach and I are also not those kind of personalities who point fingers.
No, for sure.
We introspect first, we internalize, and our first question we ask ourselves is what could we have done better? Because the one thing that, psychology that has taught me is that a lot of people, which actually is also a precursor to why people are so weak, is that a lot of people suffer from something called the internal locus of control. Right. So internal locus of control basically means if anything happens, for example, and sometimes some people might see this as weak. So if you had to slap me right now, I'm the kind of person that asks himself the question, what did I do for you to provoke that to you?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And as soon as I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I actually did nothing, that's when I'll fuck you up.
Okay, so you introspect first,
100%.
And then you weigh the options, and then you lay hands.
But then if I sit there and I'm like, no, man, the reason why he did it is because when I slipped, I kind of kicked his shin by mistake. That's why he slapped me. Then my brain goes, you know what, Sibu, next time, just don't kick his shin. Then I walk away.
But I can guarantee you I'm not going to.
You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
So a lot of people
they're not
internalize
self-aware
things.
in their own mind. Bro.
So they always blame other people first before they internalize and go, what could I have done better in this situation for it not to happen? So that's all we did with my coach. We went back to South Africa, came back home, we sat down like, okay, cool, our next trip is South Korea. What do we need to do in South Korea? Make sure when we get there, there's this, we have a SIM card, we have this, we've got, we even travel walkie-talkies. My coach and I even travel walkie-talkies.
That makes sense, bro.
Where you're like, listen, we can't rely on our phones and SIM cards.
Yeah.
So we will operate with walkie-talkies that have 16-hour life, that have our own global SIM cards. So he could literally be on the other side of the same country.
Yeah.
Hey, bud, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So just for us to have that communication. So we have tools to make sure,
that
we can control as much as we can control.
Yes.
And then everything else will then leave it to chance.
For sure. I like that, but a lot of people don't like to... See, I try to do that myself. Is also I like to, I wouldn't say manipulate the situation. But try to control it as much as I possibly could. To get the best outcome out of something.
Absolutely.
From angles to this to that to fucking, not even just this in my everyday life. From business to talk this or whatnot. Everything's timing. Everything's prep. Like, you know, what's that? Failure to prep is prepare for failure.
100%.
So if you're going to go there with no fucking plan, then it's not going to fucking work out
Absolutely.
for you. It's not going to work out for you. So... What do you want to do next, bro? What is the goal? Mr. Olympia, full on.
Absolutely.
Go stand there next. Who's like C-Bum and shit, bro?
No,
that's the only one I know now. I lost track of after like Dorian Yates
that's classic.
Ronnie Coleman.
But for me, it's gonna be open bodybuilding. That's what I do.
Okay.
So it's gonna be Samson Dawuda, Nick Walker, Derek Lunsford.
Okay.
I mean, our reigning champion right now is Hadi Chupan.
Okay.
So that's.
So what's the difference in that in classic? What, like the different types of bolt?
It's a bolt. It's a bolt. I mean, with open, it literally is that we don't have a weight criteria.
Okay.
We can go as big as we want.
Okay.
You know, with classic, they're kind of restricted with their height versus how much they can be on stage.
Sure.
So the look is almost, I want to say, more compact.
Okay.
And it's limited by height. So, for example, if you're 175, you're not allowed to be, I'm making an example here, call it more than 200 pounds on stage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's restricted by that.
Oh, shit.
Whereas with me...
I didn't know it was actually such a...
No, it's very complicated.
Very detailed.
Yeah, it's very detailed. Like with me, I could be on stage at 100 kilos or I could be 140 kilos because I'm in open class.
Yeah. And what do you prefer, bro?
Looks wise, I love classic.
Okay.
Looks wise.
Because I guess that's why classic is like, that's kind of like the Arnold build.
Yes.
The small waist, big chest.
I love classic, bro. I love classic.
Tight stomach.
But I'm just not prepared to lose 40 kilos. But
some people would be, bro. And that actually brings me to my next question.
And that's okay, but
Is the health aspect of bodybuilding.
For sure.
Because, you know, I think a lot of people, they see bodybuilding and they think, yes, these oaks are fucking healthy as shit. And in truth, a lot of them are not, bro.
Absolutely.
They are in like real pain. Like it fucks their minds up, bro. Like it fucks. I think a lot of your chemical. Can you tell us more about that? What goes on behind the scenes?
Look, the reality is exactly that. What you just said, you know. So we look like the epitome of health, but in most cases, we actually not. And the onus is on the athletes, bro. The athletes and the coach, right? To make sure that you're doing this as
the worst, bro. Fuck. Sorry.
You're trying to make sure that you're doing this as healthy as possible. Right. And I've been fortunate that I've got a team, right? So I've got a team that looks after me.
Yeah.
I've got a doctor in Durban.
Yeah.
I've got 2 doctors in Joburg, right? So I do my blood panels every 6 weeks. You know, there's things, or rather supplements that I take to make sure my heart is functioning well, my kidneys are all right, my liver is okay, my BP is kept under control. But that is the reality for a lot of guys, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and when you talk about the health aspect, you know, just, let's put it like this. A normal person will have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? I've got meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, meal 5, meal 6, meal 7.
She eats 7 meals a day,
right? Okay? That's my life.
Yeah.
So just on the fact that I'm taking in more protein than a normal person, my kidneys will take a knock. That's just number 1. 2, my fluctuation in weight. So I go from about 146 kilos off season, which is the weight that I'm approaching now, and then I competed about 126. Now the 20 kilo difference, your body will take a knock.
For sure.
So just on that perspective, it's not as healthy and as kosher as people think it is.
Okay.
But as I said, the onus is just on yourself to make sure that you're looking at those health markers. Because the reality is, it is, bro.
Yeah,
and the reality is, I love bodybuilding. I will do whatever it takes to get to my goal.
Yeah.
But there's more to life.
Yes.
I got 2 kids, bro. I want to be around for my boys.
For sure. You don't want to sit there with fucking kidney problems at 40 years old.
Right.
Bro.
I want to be here for my boys. I want to see them, you know, become dads in future.
Yeah,
and
for
stuff.
sure, bro.
So I want to make sure that by the time I exit bodybuilding, I'll still have my markers in check and I can still live a very beautiful, long life.
And once you, let's say, okay, so is your goal to win Olympia?
Absolutely.
I was about to say, it must be to win. We're not going there to fuck around.
I don't participate, bro. That's the one mentality I don't have. Don't ever give me a participation trophy. I'm not that guy. And as hard as it sounds, I'm the kind of person that believe someone that came second is the first loser.
I agree with you completely.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't help coming second.
No
one remembers
so
second.
The whole bragging thing that you came second, you came third, whatever. No, bro, you were 2 positions away from... You lost.
For sure. Yeah, you didn't
you
win,
lost.
bro.
You didn't win. So, yes, placings are good. They're great. They get celebrated. But a lot of guys get on stage to participate. I don't train 5 times a week, diets the way that I do.
To come second.
Get in an ice cold bath in winter.
And you do that every day, bro?
Absolutely, bro.
Sure.
For me to participate, why would I do that, bro?
That's not
what I mean?
Option.
That's not the mentality I have. And I'm glad I don't have that mentality.
No, for sure, bro.
And again, also, I'm not denigrating anyone that has that mentality. Fantastic. Because also, this is the other reality. I know most guys that got in their pro cards, and the pinnacle of their career was the pro card.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But for me...
It's still an achievement, but
it is,
not,
bro.
Yeah.
I demand more for myself.
Yeah. You want the best, bro. Number one.
That's what more means to me versus someone else. That's just me and my goals.
Yeah. And... How do you get to Mr. Olympia now, bro?
So I need to win a pro show.
Okay.
Right. So you there's 2 ways.
Yeah.
One, you have to win a pro show. Second one, you can come second or be the first loser a couple of times. You accumulate points. And then you get to Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to win a pro show.
Yes.
I just, in my mind, I don't take away anything from someone that gets, to the Olympia via points. But again, that's not what I want for myself.
Yes.
Because of the credibility, bro.
Yeah.
And also the respect thing. You're going to get there and you get guys behind, backstage asking each other, oh, bro, you won the New York Pro? Oh, no, he won California Pro. And you? Oh, no, I got you about points.
Times, yeah.
No one's going to take you seriously, unfortunately, bro.
It's a sad reality, but
it is a sad reality.
At the same time, it's not kind of your problem, bro.
And yes, it is an achievement that you are the top 25 guys in the world. And as we've specifically spoken about it, we'll never take that away from you. But for me and what I want, it's got to be a pro show.
It's got to be
or nothing. Or nothing.
Yeah. If you had gotten enough points and they invited you, you wouldn't go.
Bro, I'm going to put this on camera, on record. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't pitch. If I got 3 second places, and I have enough points to get to the Olympia stage, I'd kindly decline.
Until you get that win, bro.
I have to win a pro show. That's it.
That's the only option, bro.
That's it, bro.
How long is this viable, bro? So you said you're 31 this year.
I'm 31,
bro. 31 this year. It's still young, bro.
Yeah, look, in bodybuilding,
So what kind of age...
So in bodybuilding, most of us start peaking.
Because football is now old, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
In football years, I'm very old.
Just don't tell Ronaldo or Messi. No one told them, bro.
Yeah, so look, in bodybuilding, we start peaking at around the age of 32, 33.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm yet to peak.
Shit.
Right.
You're yet to... Fuck that.
So, with muscle maturity, getting bigger, and the reality is I can push this until about 40, 41. So I still have a bit of mileage.
You still have 10 years.
I still have a bit of mileage. And look, there's people that have been on stage. I mean, Dexter Jackson, I think he's one of the GOATs in bodybuilding. He was on stage at the age of 50. Still competitive, bro. Still kicking ass. Top 6 Miss Olympia. Kicking ass.
At 50 years old?
At 50 years old, my guy.
What?
That's
guy longevity,
bro, the guy with the most pro shows, wins. So, it just depends on, and also just depends on what you want for your career. You know what I mean? I also don't want to be that guy that I get to the age of 43 or whatever the case may be, and now I'm that has been where...
Yeah, you don't want to overstay your welcome.
I don't. I want to have a
very... high.
A grace, exactly.
So if you had to win Miss Olympia...
Yeah.
Done.
Bro,
would you call it quits?
No, I want to win it a couple of times.
Okay,
But I also wouldn't want to be the kind of guy that by the time I've retired, I was now the guy that was coming 10th.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
No, you don't want that.
One thing I respect about Jay Cutler is that, firstly, he's the one guy that won Mr. Olympia, lost Mr. Olympia, won it back. And when people thought he's going to come back and still cause a lot of shit, he's like, I'm good, I'm done.
I'm like a...
He walked away at a time where everyone thought this guy's about to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Now, whether someone agrees with it or not, I think his relevancy, he right now being an athlete that he still is and still being booked at that high price, it was strategically done in a marketing way that is still relevant.
That's
you know
crazy,
what I mean? I say he bowed out gracefully.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a graceful bow out.
Jay's got he's that legendary leg stomp, eh? When
Yeah,
he takes
yeah.
his leg and he fucking goes like, and that whole
Yes.
thing just tunes
Yes,
out.
yes, yes.
Other than him, bro, who else do you look up to in this game, bro?
For me, I've been asked that question a couple of times,
Yeah.
right? And I'm the kind of guy that looks at certain physiques, differently. But I'm more of a mind guy, bro. Okay. For me, I tap into someone's mentality.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of...
Because you've got the Mike Jordan kind of mentality.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm also the kind of person that by the time I see your physicality, and again, bar genetics, bar the fact that certain people might have a genetic disposition to put on muscle easier and.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I do know, genetics don't wake up someone at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Not a fuck.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's always been about the mentality. All right? It's about getting things done. So
discipline.
That's why I look up to Jay Cutler as a businessman that was Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
That guy as an ambassador of the sports, as a businessman being Mr. Olympia, I think he embodied it well.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
You look at someone like Phil Heath, also businessman, but that never give up mentality.
Because he won it like 8 times.
Yeah, 7 times, right? 7-time Mr. Olympia. But that give up mentality, and whether you like him or not, that mentality of assuring himself and knowing who the fuck he is, I resonate with that, bro. He wasn't an arrogant guy.
Yeah.
And most people that call him arrogant,
Yeah.
I normally find that it's people that have their own shortcomings about themselves.
For sure. Projection on it, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
I was watching your other interview that you did with the guy from Bodybuilding Desktop or something
Desktop,
Desktop.
yeah.
And you said, it might sound arrogant, but I would have won that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I still maintain that. If I got on stage in Brazil, I would have won that whole show easily.
And that's not arrogancy, bro.
It's not.
A lot of people will take it. A lot of people will take it as arrogancy, bro.
And that's, I promise you, 90% of the time, it's people that have their own cognitive dissonance about who they are.
For sure.
Because someone that knows themselves, know exactly what they bring into the table, they know exactly the package they were brought in that day. I'm telling you categorically right now, if I got into that stage, had the disqualification not happened,
one, bro.
I would have won, bro. Done.
Fuck. Well, as you say, it's school fees, bro.
We live and we learn, bro. We live
so
and we learn.
now, tell me, after you win your Mr. Olympia and stuff like that, do you have, I see you've got that mentality. So you're going into business when you're done, bro. Because obviously for future legacy for your kids.
I am now, I am now in business.
So you're in business. So what kind of business do you do now?
Well, I mean, I'm a personal trainer.
I'm
a profit shareholder at the SCS.
Okay.
Bro, co-owner. Well, with my brand, it's coming up as well.
Yes.
And there's other ventures in business that I'm getting into.
What are you keen on getting into after? Like, do you have like wild aspirations? Like Mike Tyson now has like a weed farm. And do you have anything out of the blue?
I love to see it.
Yeah.
I love to see it. Look, I mean, a lot of times the cliche thing that a lot of us pro athletes do will always be the whole gym thing, right? And I think that's great. But my focus, especially with the prep that I did for Brazil, the irony is that I actually spent more time in recovery than I did in training.
Fuck.
So if I had to open something that I'm actually working towards as well, it'd be a recovery center.
Okay.
I think South Africa lacks recovery.
Yeah.
And I say that because you see a lot of people going to the gym and you see a lot of people, feeling despondent because they're not meeting their goals. And then you ask simple stuff. Like, for example, how many hours do you sleep? Then they're like, oh no, I cruise on about 3-4 hours a night. So I'm like, well, you're already in a deficit. You know what I mean? So already, someone speaking about sleep on that regard, for a fact they're not doing an ice bath. For a fact they're not getting a sport massage. For a fact they don't have a chiro. That's why I'm saying I've got a team. I'm privileged with I've got a team. I've got 2 chiros, Monelli and Bianca. I've got a massage therapist, Shane. I go to Thrive. I do ice baths every other day. I do an infrared sauna. I've got a team around me to make sure that every single exercise that I do, I get 100% out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
So my recovery is I would say, in most cases, it's actually more important than me training.
That's actually wild, because you're not the first, obviously, like pro athlete. I've watched so many of these pro athletes say the exact same thing. I mean, like if I could just put into example like Ronaldo, I see like the teams that he has like during the day, where they don't say, okay,
so I did a study on Ronaldo because I was, as I said, I'm interested in the mentality.
It's a different mentality.
He spends 1.7 million euros, right, a year on his recovery. Just his recovery, and his coaching. Like, so he's even segregated his coaching.
Yeah.
So he has a coach that comes in to teach him how to jump. That's why Ronaldo can jump
like the way he jumps.
more than an average. He can jump higher than an average basketball player.
That's
he has
wild.
a coach
I didn't know that stat.
He has a coach that comes in that just teaches him how to jump.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's crazy, bro. Because fuck.
So when people look at his skill, he's a very talented skillsman, whatever.
But it's not
But
God-given,
as I said, bro, I
Nah.
promise you, when you look at most of these guys, it's not just skill.
No,
it's not just
hard
genetics.
work,
It's not just, you know what I mean? So when people look at it, they always take it with the caveats of, oh, no, shame, man, Sibu's genetics, that's why he's that big. It's not, bro. My genetics don't wake me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? I've got alarms to eat, bro. My genetics don't. I force feed myself to eat. But sometimes I'm not hungry, but I have to bark.
Yeah, you have
that
to
has nothing to do with my genetics.
Yeah. Fuck, and people take that for granted, bro.
Speaking of which, wait, my alarm might go off. Let me switch it off.
Sorry, no, my fucking Escom's a push app.
Right. So
it's
it's that kind of mentality, bro, that a lot of people take for granted.
And have you always had this mentality, or has it been there? Has it been coached into you? Because I've seen pictures of your coach, bro. That man's a fucking machine.
Yeah.
Damn.
He preps with me most of the time.
Yeah. Really? So he does the same things you do?
With me, diets with me, trains with me.
To also compete or just to do it?
He used to be a competitor, but I really think he should make a comeback. So it's a bit of both. I think I took the self-discipline I had with my academics and I just transferred it into my sports.
Yes.
You know, because I was genuinely a nerd, bro. Like, I was a proper nerd. The only way people didn't realize that I was a nerd, I hit it well with rugby.
Okay.
So because
you're the sports guy.
Yeah, because most of the time you don't really think rugby guys are supposed to be smart because you have this connotation of he's just a jock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of hit it very well with that.
Yeah.
But I was a proper nerd, bro. I had to be top 3 in the grade. You know, in matric, you know, I had a couple of A's and made sure that I was in top 100 in KZN.
Yes.
It was that kind of thing for me.
That's optimal, bro. Like a jack nerd.
You know what I mean? So I think I just took some of those skills.
Yeah.
You know, because I never remember sitting down with my mom and she's like, no, you got to wake up at this time and do that. So I used to literally swap places with my family where when they went to bed, I used to wake up and study. You know what I mean? And I started doing that like in grade 8.
Fuck.
Yeah, bro. I was nocturnal. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'll come back home, eat, sleep, and then when they go to bed around probably like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock,
you wake up.
I'll wake up and study until 2 a.m. in the morning, then go to bed, then wake up and go to school.
Shit.
You know, so I think it's that kind of discipline that kind of sustained me. And then most of it was also self-taught, bro. You know, because a lot of people also have this whole thing of, how do you stay disciplined and. And I tell people, sometimes discipline also has to do with environment, okay? So one of the things that I do, which shocks a lot of people, when I get a new diet from my coach, I look at my diet plan, and then I go to my pantry. And if it's not on my diet plan, it's not in my house. It's that simple. So even if it's healthy, if it's not on my diet plan, it's not in my house. So for example, let's say my previous diets had oats.
Yeah.
If my new diet doesn't have oats, I'll pack all the stuff, I'll give it to my helper, she takes it home.
Yeah.
Anything in my, because what I do is I'm creating an environment for myself to thrive.
You don't allow yourself.
I don't want to self-sabotage.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I don't keep anything in my house that's not going to aid and perpetuate the fact that I'm trying to meet a goal.
Yeah.
So when people talk about discipline, they think it's me staring at a burger and then instead having my chicken and rice. It's not. It's me staying away from the burger to make sure that
not
I can
even
have
looking at the fucking burger.
100%.
Lead us not into
temptation.
Yes. Because, you know, as you said, self-sabotage is a real thing.
Absolutely, bro.
And
absolutely.
I struggle with that myself, truly. Like, I set out my plans. I know what to do. You know, a couple of days I'll be in, bro. I'll be in it. I'll be up early. Okay, for me, early 6, bro. Fuck, I can't do that. I can't go to bed early.
Okay.
I struggle. Then I'll lay in bed and I'll just feel like I'm wasting fucking time. So then I'll do it for like a good, let's say like a week, bro.
Okay.
And then I'll be like, nah, you know, I deserve something or something like that. And then you just fucking fall. You know what I mean? And it just rolls down. But I was reading an interesting part in the 5 a.m. club.
Yes.
Where they said the book.
Okay.
Yeah. So they said it's the frontal lobe. I can't remember the exact things, bro.
Yeah.
That your brain has two parts. Bro.
Yes.
One that has the ambition and shit to go on.
Yeah.
And then your primal one that wants you to stay.
Yeah.
You like survive and be comfortable and shit.
Yeah.
That's why you self-sabotage yourself, but subconsciously. You don't even know that you're fucking doing
Absolutely.
it. You throw it down, and
Absolutely.
I thought that was very interesting because I didn't know that, bro. And
Absolutely.
I think the more the people learn about the brain,
But it's also because you live in a
yeah.
society that wants instant self-gratification.
Yes,
Because everything happens just like this.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I
did
mean?
one good thing now, you posted on there, and
No,
give me attention, that dopamine hit.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
And then they sit and hate themselves afterwards, bro. I've been there.
And it happens,
a shitty
bro.
thing, bro.
And you can't not fall for the trap.
Yeah.
It's easier to fall for the trap than
sure.
to walk away and go, actually, let me not do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's also in Jordan Peterson's book, bro.
Yeah.
I think it was chapter 2, bro.
Okay.
And the 12 rules for life.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
So I'm currently reading that.
Oh, dude, it's a hard read, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, I have to sit there and focus reading that thing because he really...
Yeah. He's
goes
one
on,
of
bro.
those guys that are well ahead of our century.
Yeah, for
bro.
sure,
Well
for sure,
ahead.
bro. And I enjoyed the first chapter with the lobsters and shit.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one, bro. But
Yeah.
so I think it's the second one now where I was reading about the self-discipline thing.
Yes.
Also that you have two voices in your head, and if you go too far down, that voice that wants to bring you back to get better, get back on your graft, it can really silence.
Yo, it can
if you
drown
keep
out
on pushing
completely,
out.
bro.
So you kind of have to deep dive into your brain,
Yeah.
pull that fucker back, and
Yeah.
listen to that person who's
Yeah.
telling you
Yeah.
that this is the right thing to do
Yeah.
consistently, bro.
Yeah.
Also, the very much so easier said than done, bro.
Always. Always.
But then again, the things that matter and that's
Always hard,
are
bro.
always hard, bro.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, everyone would have this shit.
And as cliche as it sounds, that's very true.
The cliches I've learned are real.
Oh, very true, right?
very
And that's
fucking
why they're
true.
cliches.
Guys, if you tell anybody something's a cliche, it's fucking
probably true, yeah.
It's very true. As you say, until you've experienced it yourself, you don't know that feeling, bro.
Absolutely.
And then you think in your head, you're like, okay, that this guy wasn't lying. Bro.
Right.
And that's why these people that have made anything, they've given us blueprints
Absolutely, bro.
on how to become successful. But we've got that. Most people have that mentality of I know better. That can't be right. That doesn't sound right.
Or the comfortability of wallowing in where you are.
Yeah,
Right?
comfortability. Bro.
It's
Fuck,
a
the
dangerous
comfort
thing.
zone is a dangerous
It's a dangerous
thing,
place
bro.
to be, bro.
Especially
Nothing grows there.
nothing grows there. Sometimes I wish I had that mindset, bro. Fuck, life would be so much easier. But if something had to go wrong, those people are fucked first, bro.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, but fuck. Sibusiso, we're gonna wrap this up, bro.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else that you'd like to tell people, trying to get into the business, into the industry? Maybe some advice.
Wow. Look, I think what I've learned over the years, bro, is that the fitness industry is a very self-centered, conceited environment. And I think more people that have become selfless in my industry, those are the ones that thrive.
Yeah.
And I say that because, getting abs and looking good is amazing.
Yeah.
But for me, I always ask a lot of people that want to get into the industry, whatever the case may be, especially when they DM me, I ask them your why. Why do you want to do this? You know what I mean? And 90% of the time, either they can't answer the why, or their why is so
Weak.
self-centered
Yeah.
that for a fact this person is not going to last more than a year, let
Yeah.
alone 6 months.
Yeah.
Because their why is not sustainable.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not sustainable in the sense that I always say your why's got to be bigger than you.
Okay.
It's got to be, bro.
That sounds smart as
It's
fuck.
it's got to be bigger than you.
Yeah. It has to
I'll
be.
tell you a quick story before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Right? I was in PE doing a show, and so there was curtains. I mean, we're looking at the audience, but in my peripheral, I'm seeing this guy backstage, and bro, he's not clapping, not doing anything. He's just doing this, looking at us on stage, and I'm like, this is a bit bizarre. Anyway, I get off stage. The guy stops me. He's like, hey, bud, I just want to say thank you so much. So I look at this guy. I'm like, for what? He's like, no, I've been looking at your journey up until you came here to PE, and it's your journey that literally got me in the car and I took myself to rehab. Okay?
Fuck.
And bro, I got goosebumps. I'm like,
I
what
get
do you mean?
goosebumps right now, bro.
So I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, no, just looking at your journey, how you never give up. I've been giving up on my drug addiction for a while. And I'm like, if that guy can be relentless in the pursuit of his goal, whatever that looks like. Yes, for you, it was your physique, getting it right. I think I can also, pick myself up and not give up on myself, right? So I literally took off my medal because I'd won the show, took off my medal, took off my trophy, I signed it for him and gave it to him.
Wow.
So I'm like, let this be a reminder for you to never give up, right?
Yes.
So the reason I say it is because your why's got to be bigger than you.
Yeah.
If you're just doing this for Instagram likes and abs and you're trying to get the next, booty
for attention,
in your bed, and honestly, that's okay. but I can assure you it's not
It's
sustainable.
it's not sustainable.
It's not going to last you because
that's
you're
a side benefit.
Yeah, because also you're gonna get a coach like me that's gonna push you on the floor, and then you're gonna think this is torture or whatever the case may be because your why is that weak. But when your why is bigger than you, it's easier to squat 200 kilos. It's easier to have alarms and remind yourself to eat.
Yeah.
The work is hard, but it's easy because your why is always bigger than you. You always sit back and going, what I'm doing right now is way bigger than me.
Yes.
So I say this with a big caveat. You sit back and you just go, I cannot give up and I cannot fuck up. I don't have an opportunity to fuck up because what I'm doing right now is bigger than me.
Crazy. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna put that as my alarm tone every morning, bro. Fuck, dude, this was an absolute pleasure, bro. Thank you for coming out the side. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. Where can people find you on the socials, bro?
Sibusiso Kotelo on Instagram, actually everywhere.
Everywhere.
Sibusiso
Just I
Kotelo,
googled it and it popped up, guys.
Yeah,
guys.
Sibusiso Kotelo, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this episode.
Thank you so much.
Please leave a like, a comment. Let us know what you thought. Subscribe to our shit, guys. But yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Cool.